Well, right now, folks, at the headquarters of the DNC, they're rifling through old phone books, looking for a manufacturer of white flags. Why white flags? They can't surrender fast enough and they don't have enough flags to raise. Somebody's out there, get 1,000 more white flags! Folks, it's so bad. How bad is it, King Dude? It's so bad. Democrat National Circus staffers are watching documentaries about Jonestown to see how they made the Kool-Aid. Because they might have to start passing it around at their convention. That's how bad it is. True story. Well, folks, my friends, we are here. We are live after an 11 p.m. sign-off last night asking the question of the day.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
Well,
and remember, Friday is Hawaiian Shirt Day. So, if you want to, go ahead and wear a Hawaiian shirt and jeans.
It's phone. Oh, there it is. It's phone. Yes, it is a free phone Friday. Yay. They are charged with the task of telling us what it is we shall talk about here on the program. Maybe today is actually the day that somebody actually calls. Somebody that I'm not expecting to call. What a joy that would be. Here is the telephone number to take me up on this kind, benevolent, beneficent offer use of these radio airways. 844-527-8723, 844-5-CRUSADE. Email me directly. My email address, same as it ever has been. I am kingdude@protonmail.com. It's so bad, folks, that these spin doctors aren't even attempting to spin the Biden disaster last night. It's so bad. I almost feel, and I'm sure many people can second this emotion, pity. Nope. But then again, I go and you look back and see what this man has done, what the Democrat Party has allowed him to do, and what they are cheering him on in some sick, twisted, macabre. Is this masochism or sadism? Yes, Maggie.
No, I was just going to say, for all those out there feeling pity and sorrowful for this old man, he got paraded out and he looked terrible, he sounded horrible. That all goes away when he starts angry talking about killing babies. He is vibrant when he talks about killing babies. Yeah. So don't feel sorry for him.
Yeah, we don't usually play sound bites in the opening monologue, but get Jill Biden ready because I think this is what America needs to hear. This is what it sounds like. Where's Ave Maria 476 when I need her? She has 11 children. She probably has 4 or 5 that are at T-ball age. This is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like when Alyssa is walking her 6-year-old son or daughter off the T-ball field.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
What is this, a participation trophy? You answered every question. He didn't have any choice. And he's sitting there staring at her like, who are you? Literally, he's looking at her going, is this Thursday? Is this a weekday? What day is this? Where's the Jell-O? You want to say that it's sad, But then again, they asked for it. Do not feel pity or remorse. Be a Terminator with these people. That's what it sounds like when Ave Maria 476 or one of you other moms or Ashley is walking Kieran off of the T-ball field after the T-ball team lost 4-3.
And he was out there catching flies with his glove.
But hey, you got a hit single. You didn't score a run, but you did so good. You did it. This is Buddy the Elf. This is you did it. You made the world's greatest cup of coffee. During the course of the debate, if you didn't watch it, and I don't blame anyone for not tuning into that poop show, because that's what it was. If you missed it, it was apparent from the first question that Biden was asked. So they juiced him up. He was ready to go. They had pumped him full with so many statistics and facts that he just vomited all of them in the first answer. About 2/3 of what he said in the first answer had nothing to do with the question, but he was just babbling on statistics. Okay, so far so good. The 16 debate coaches are going like, yeah, that's our boy. You go in there. Come on, rookie, park that thing. Stick that landing, rookie. Then Trump got to answer. And as soon as they went from old man who should be in the walker and being tended to by the grandchildren, pale-faced, scratchy-voiced. I mean, what did they do to his physical appearance? My Lord! Do they not know what a tanning bed is? Could they not have said, Dad, you're looking really peaked. We're going to recommend 1 hour sessions for the next 4 days. You spending some time in the tanning bed. We'll give you a smoothie. Just go in there and, just pretend like you're in the beach, Rehoboth Beach in Delaware, back in the old days. And, there's water on your legs and you could see the hair and what have you, the speech that you give. As someone because his physical appearance was awful. So you go to the first question, and he babbles a bunch of statistics out that they've been drilling into his head, and then they go to Trump. And then there's Trump standing there. Whatever you think of Trump, Trump shows up. There's no doubt that guy, like Megyn Kelly once said, he sucks all the life out of the room. He literally was drawing off of what little life force energy that Biden had, that remains in Biden. And then Trump gives the first answer, and you just know, dude, I came here to fight. I don't care if you're ready or not, Joe. I'm going to kick your ass. And it was on. And from the first answer that Biden gave, if you didn't see it, let me just describe to you what happened after he gave his first answer and he vomited out all the statistics. When the camera would pan to Biden when Trump was talking, and I'm not exaggerating. Go to our YouTube channel. You can go watch the whole thing again. You're looking at a feeble, aged, elderly man that, figuratively speaking, I'm not speaking metaphorically, looked like he was lost, and that he literally was like looking for the nurse button, didn't know what to do, is staring at Trump like, do I know this guy? I think they told me he's my enemy. Well, then, of course, the memories would come back, and he would figure out, oh, wait a minute, he is my enemy. Orange man bad, and there he is. He's orange, and he's bad. He's right there. There were instances during the debate last night that I think were anyone for the crowd out there that says that Trump's a warmonger and he's a hothead and he's going to start another war and you can't be trusted. And he jumped over from the back seat into the front seat when he was in the Beast on 010621, and he tried to take the steering wheel from the driver, and he beat people up in the Oval Office afterwards because he's so hot tempered and everyone hates being around him and what have you. I got to tell you, there were instances last night where Biden just belted out a whopper, a 100% fabricated lie, and Trump sit there and, like this is a boxing match, these are body blows, right? Biden is beating up the rib cage, and Trump stood there and took it and bit his lip, kind of like Bill Clinton, and just went, "You're not gonna get." You could almost see Donald Trump going like, "Not today, Satan. You're not gonna get me. I'm not gonna lose it." And he wanted to. I thought Trump was pretty clear and concise. He's not a very good debater. That's about as good as it gets for him. Kind of like the first debate with Hillary, when he just mopped the floor with her, and people were stunned, going like, "He's not supposed to be. He can't do that." Oh yeah, he can. There's many moments that we can go over, and whoa, folks, the Demoncrat National Circus is. And I'm not exaggerating, sent their lieutenants last night to go float the trial balloon. This is the trial balloon now. This is what they do. To go float the trial balloon to say that Biden's out. We got to replace him. We have to have someone else. He's going to ruin the entire party. This could be for you American history buffs out there, this could be a Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren moment. You know, at the end of the Federalist Party, I think Jackson was a Federalist, but regardless, the Federalist faded into complete and total obscurity after and during Andrew Jackson's presidency. So the next president, I think it was the next one or two presidents later, was Martin Van Buren. You may not know this, but Martin Van Buren founded the Democrat Party. He is the founder. He's credited as being the founder of the Democrat Party. Why did Martin Van Buren found the Democrat Party? Because the old ancient Republican Party, there was an old one, a little R Republican Party, not really a party, but Madison and Monroe and Jefferson were kind of quasi members of it. The Republicans were all dead. There kind of were heirs, but not really heirs. John Tyler of Virginia was about as close as you get to an heir to one of the old school Republicans. But the Federalist Party, which John Quincy Adams was a member of, and I think Andrew Jackson was kind of a member of, were kind of still around. But Jackson's presidency and his insanity, the man was a nut. Jackson's craziness ended the Democrat Party, and Martin Van Buren saw it coming and knew for political survival, if there were to be political parties in America, that they needed a new one. So he founded the Democrat Party. This could be a Martin Van Buren moment. I mean, folks, literally, what does the Democrat Party exist to do? Murder babies. You know, Biden was energetic when he was talking about killing children. Biden was energetic when he was talking about basically anything having to do with killing. You know, the old man comes to life. But in the aftermath, okay, the debate takes place on CNN. By the way, just quickly, a quick review. Last night on the Crusade Radio Network, I just want all of you to think about this today, this weekend, and Monday. Especially, I'm speaking out of people that never make a $5 donation, have not bought a Golden Truth ticket ever in the 5 years that we've done it, never made a contribution. You kind of listen casually. You don't do anything else. Fine. We still love you, and I love you today. I want you to think about something, though. We made an impact last night. We had as many people watching our stream, and Mike Parrott and James, the Nigerian trad, and Magdalene Roses, and our live coverage of the debate. Of all of the kind of not so popular players that you would see doing this on YouTube, we were right there with them. We had about the same amount of people that Kyle Seraphin had, about the same amount of people that one of the other popular Tim Pool guys had. On YouTube, we had a decent audience, and it stayed throughout. On the Crusade Radio Network, most listened to day in the history of the Crusade channel was yesterday. I looked the stats up this morning. So we're alive and well with listeners. Now I need you listeners to become donors. So CrusadeChannel.com/donate. Get 120 of you to buy 3 Golden Truth tickets today, tomorrow, Sunday, or Monday. That's it. That's the pitch. There are still people that are going to go buy single tickets. I think that number will take care of itself. I need 120 of you to be heroes and go buy 3 tickets today. Now, if you already have 2, then just go buy 1 more, and you're at the 3. CrusadeChannel.com/golden. And I bring this up because your contributions are what make the equipment in here and all this stuff possible to broadcast. Look, we're in the big leagues, guys. I saw people commenting on YouTube going like, your coverage is as good as Fox's. That was a quote from YouTube from a couple of people. Your coverage is as good as Fox's. That's not, look, that doesn't just happen. I take great pride in that, and we take great pride in how we present ourselves. And we represent you. You Crusaders out there. And by the way, I am hanging out in the chat room today, so if you're going to throw,
Nobody is.
yeah, if you're gonna throw King Dude brick brats today, I will be seeing them. CrusadeChannel.com/chat. A proud day in the history in the 8 years. Look, we were there in 2016 with Hillary, if you can believe it. That's how long we've been doing this. We were there in 2020 with Biden. We're here with you this year in 2024. That doesn't just happen. That's people that love what they do. That's us. And you people love what we do. And that's you. Make sure it continues. I'm serious as the proverbial heart attack. 120 of you, go buy 3 tickets today. Be a hero, as Jim Mosier says in the commercial. CrusadeChannel.com/golden. Yeah, there's some live action shots from the little studio that could last night. Well, let me tell you what happened, and I think that this is, okay, let me give you the conspiracy theory. Where's Alex Jones when I need him? Here is my conspiracy.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay.
But I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think the Democrat Party set him up. There's a couple of things about this so-called debate last night. Number one, the earliest debate ever in history. Number two, they kicked to the curb the debate on the Commission on Presidential Debates, which had been running the debate since 1987. And I'm not saying that the commission did a good job because it put hacks in there. It did. It just did. It put hacks in there. Gwen Ifill from the New York Times comes to mind in 1992. Put hacks in there to go trip up Republican candidates. We all know it. We all saw it. They did the same thing to Trump. But they did provide a pool feed for the world to take the broadcast, and CNN was threatening to cut anyone off that was using their feed. But it was broadcast on a cable news network. It was hosted by cable news network anchors. The commentary immediately afterward was cable news network contributors. And it wasn't MSNBC, it was CNN. This is obviously CPR being performed on the corpse that is the cable news network or the communist news network or the Clinton news network, whatever you want to use for the C. Well, let me let you in on what it looks to me, and I'm not the only one that sees it, but I saw it last night. It looks to me like some people in the Democrat Party set Biden up to fail. They wanted this to happen. They sent him into that hangar. They beat the living crap out of him verbally for 7 days. He looked tired. He looked peaked. He looked weak. His voice was almost gone. It was raspy. And he had a cold. Yeah, they said he had a cold. Dude, you had the finest doctors on earth. Wait a minute. You had a cold? You're the head spokesman for the freaking vaccine, dude. Just take a couple of Pfizer goop jabs. I believe that the DNC set him up. There are people in high positions of power, probably attached to the Clintons. They set him up, knowing, and then they beat him up, and they sent him out there on that stage to fail. There's no way you can convince me that John King and all the rest of the usual suspects were ready to go with let's throw Papa under the bus, back it up, and then run him over again. He's finished. That was a setup. That was an assassination on national, international television last night. Trump assassinated Biden, but no, not really. All Trump had to do was show up and not pass out. You know who assassinated Biden? The Democrats. His own party. This was sabotage, ladies and gentlemen. This is complete and total sabotage. You know, they sent a film crew with him to go to Waffle House afterwards, as if. Well, me and Corn Pop, we're kids in Scranton, Pennsylvania. We hung out at Waffle House. No, you didn't. They sent him to Waffle House like he's Bubba Wallace. Not Bubba Wallace. Oh, gosh. The golfer, the left-handed golfer that won the Masters, who took all his homies out to the Waffle House. Oh, it's been so long since I watched golf. They took him to Waffle House afterwards. Of course, there was a crowd waiting there for him. Mm-hmm. This was an assassination. And I don't know who it is that's pulling the strings, but I'm telling you, the release of Julian Assange, this was the Bidens now. This is the Bidens and Harris and the inner circle in the White House. Is still, nucleus is still there. This is them. This was a preemptive shot at Hillary. I'm telling you. They wanted Assange out there to basically, as an insurance policy for what is about to happen, which is the coup that they're going to attempt to try and get Joe Biden off of the ballot. They got to move quick because there are states that have rules that say you have to nominate whoever your nominee is has to, if you're going to put them on our ballot, they have to be nominated at the convention. I'm going to go back to my original point from, or the final point that I was making last segment. What you saw last night was a political assassination. You saw in real time what the Democrat Party is capable of. In real time, you saw what they are capable of. They took out their leader. I don't think the gravity of this has sunk in and has been processed by many people here. Certainly not the political elite, who may be staring at this in just stunned disbelief and can't believe. There's no other way to explain this. You had 7 days to get this guy ready. Did he look like he was ready to any of you that watched this? Did he look like that they had prepared? Now there are some things that they could not have prepared for, because it's obvious the man is in mental acuity decline. His senility is growing. This is obvious. He's worse. He was worse last night than he was at the State of the Disunion. He's worse than he was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago in Normandy, when he was swatting at invisible flies there, and Giorgia Meloni had to come on, Mr. President, no, turn around. No, there's no one there. There's people. There's people over here. See, nice people over there. Smile, wave. This is embarrassing. And maybe it's the Democrat Party going like, okay, we tried to get rid of him. We tried to tell him not to run for re-election. He refused. Something was said by Chris Wallace last night. Why didn't the Democrats nominate Gruesome Newsom or Cory Booker, whoever it is that they think is their future? Why didn't they nominate them in 2020? Just let Trump win his second term. They couldn't do that. And nominate someone from the younger class, because they have no one to go to now. People that are out there going, Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is a hack. He is a vile, vicious, murdering hack. He looks good with the coiffed hair and all that. You know, here, let me drop an interesting tidbit your way that many of you may not know. Do you know who Gavin Newsom used to be married to when he was Mayor Newsom? Do you know, Maggie? Kimberly Guilfoyle, Don Trump Jr.'s current wife, was Mrs. Gruesome Newsom. You don't think that she knows where the bodies or some of the bodies are buried? And you don't think that the DNC doesn't know that? Dude, they got someone in their camp that knows everything there is to know about young, gruesome Gavin Newsom. Newsom is not the answer. He is an awful, he's a worse human being, if that's possible, than Biden. Yeah, here, Newsom is so bad. Anyone, movers and shakers in the Democrat Party, went to their guys at Fox News, yes, they have guys at Fox News, and asked if Hannity would put on that debate between Ron DeSantis and Newsom. That was the trial balloon, folks. That's what that was. And Newsom failed miserably. They would have pulled the old man after, if Newsom would have wiped the stage with Ron DeSantis, Biden would not be on the ticket today. They already would have made the move, but they can't because they know he's a hack and he's going to lose. Head-to-head, Trump-Newsom is a 46 state blowout. So who remains? Who remains? You all know who remains. Hillary. It is a very real possibility that this could be Trump-Hillary 2.0. I keep telling people that these people aren't smart. Well, you saw it on display last night. If it were true, and I don't believe that it is, but if it were true that Demoncrats actually thought that Joseph Robinette Biden could go toe-to-toe on that stage with Donald John Trump of Mar-a-Lago in the condition that the Democrats had to know that Biden was in, then they're more foolish and stupid than you and I ever possibly imagined. I don't think they're that dumb. They are dumb, but they're not that stupid. And they certainly are cunning and treacherous, okay? So the idea here that they got sandbagged by the old man, by Biden last night, I don't buy for one moment.
We saw it coming.
Yeah, if all of you in the Crusader Stadium and all of you watching on YouTube and all of you listening out there in Radio Land, if all of you and us, if we all saw it coming, well, why didn't they? Well, the fact of the matter is that they had to have seen it coming. So last night was, again, an assassination. This is, they had to make the decision when they made the call to do this thing on June the 27th. And by the way, that is a strategic date. There's still enough time to yank the old man, put someone else. And look, they don't want Kamala. No. They don't want Kamala. Now, I will give those of you who think it's going to be Newsom, I will give you one thing. One thing. The only way the Newsom pick makes sense, then that's how they could get rid of Biden and Harris, because the vice president can't come from the same state as the president. That's in the Constitution now. So that would be, sorry, Kamala, we're going to nominate Gavin, and I don't know who they would pick as a running mate from Newsom. I have no clue. I really don't. I don't know. So somebody's going to say, what about Hakeem Jeffries? If you want to commit political suicide, go ahead and do that. I don't know who it would be. I would imagine one of the Democrat governors. Wouldn't be Pritzker. It would probably be the guy from Maryland or no, not the guy from Maryland. Might be Mal Murphy from Connecticut. Might be the guy, the governor from New Jersey. Wouldn't be Hateful Hochul, Satan's apostle either. Could be the woman from New Mexico. I forget her name. She's one of them for sure. But picking Newsom gets rid of Kamala too. So this was an assassination last night. They had all their lieutenants in place. Joy Reid, by the way, we'll play that clip, is not very convincing in being shocked. No. Well, my text message and this and that. And the other. Dude, you didn't see that. Come on, man. Here is senior political analyst John King for CNN. He's one of them. He was the first thing when they cut from the debate stage. And they went to the CNN newsroom, and then Anderson Cooper, DC 180, read off the names of all the people that they were going to get commentary from, and their pollsters, and this and that and the other. The first clip, right out the gun, was John King, and this is what he said.
Minutes into the debate, and it continues right now. It involves party strategists, it involves elected officials, it involves fundraisers. And they're having conversations about the president's performance, which they think was dismal, which they think will hurt other people down the party in the ticket. And they're having conversations about what they should do about it. Some of those conversations include, should we go to the White House and ask the president to step aside? Other of the conversations are about, should prominent Democrats go public with that call? Because they feel this debate was so terrible. They do say, in moments in the debate later, the president got better and got his footing, but then at the end, even his closing statement was a little...
His closing statement was completely and totally incoherent. His closing statement is you get the soundbite from Billy Madison at the end of his closing statement. It was that bad.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
What you just said is the long form version is this.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
God have mercy on your soul. That was Demoncrats last night. I'm not going to give you any points, Joe. So let me just reiterate. I know it may sound a little repetitive. This was an assassination. They set him up. They sequestered him and took him and put him somewhere where no one could get to him. And what did they do with that time? Think of it like this. If this is the best you could do after 7 days of 24-hour-a-day nonstop work on Biden, this is the result. No wonder everything is so screwed up that you guys run. I mean, if I was Trump, I'd have made that point, Joe. They had you sequestered for 7 days. It's just all your part, Joe. Just you're an embarrassment, Joe. You know that Trump left the stage. They didn't shake hands. Didn't shake hands when they came out. Trump left the stage, basically looked he was cordial to Dana Bash and Fake Tapper. He did thank the moderators, and he just walked off. he just walked off the stage triumphant because he had to have known, okay, that was it. I just vanquished this guy. Again, if the Democrat Party decides to stick with him, they're going to lose. What were you saying, Maggie? If after you saw this mentally incapacitated, senile, babbling, angry, unable to control his emotions, and just the lies that were coming. I don't even know so much that they were lies. Maybe he convinced himself that the thing at Charlottesville actually happened, because he certainly seemed to believe it. We have the clip. If you watched the debate last night, this thing about skinheads with Nazi patches on and burning torches, and Trump saying, those guys are the greatest guys out there. We love those guys. That did not happen. As a matter of fact, when I play the clip, you go like, how the hell did you get that? Maybe he actually thinks, so maybe that's what he heard, senile old Biden, when he heard the clip. But if you're a Democrat and you're still going, Joe Biden is my guy, you just have to thirst for the blood of babies. You can't possibly think that man ought to be running a candy store, that man, he shouldn't be distributing Viagra pills at the retirement home. He'd lose count of them. He might eat them all and think that they were M&Ms. Oh, I love those blue M&Ms. Jill loves them too. So this was someone's at the Democrat Party's attempt to get rid of Biden and to assassinate him. Maybe they want to lose. Now let me throw another little iron into the fire here. What do they do with Harris, Fred, Alvin Bragg, and Judge Marchand now? After that performance last night, it won't do any good to lock Trump in a jail cell. He doesn't need to campaign. As a matter of fact, you might say it probably is better off campaigning less because you don't want to give them ammo. You don't want any screw ups or say something at an event or something. So you don't want to put any doubt in anyone's mind. So you just kind of go to small campaign events, do one a week or so. He doesn't need to do them though. People, the decision is clear now. It's not going to be another debate, by the way. That's not going to happen. That's Biden's last public performance. If they let that man on the stage, imagine this. They send him out there at the DNC. They stick with him because Jill Biden has played the Assange card on Hillary and told her, yeah, bitch, go ahead, try it. I know where your underwear and the bodies are buried. That's why we let Assange out. That was the deal. How do you here? Let me throw this out. Let me finish the Marshawn. What is the incentive now for Marshawn to lock Trump up? There is every indication from the Supreme Court that it is a 6-3 slam dunk. He is going to win. If it has to go all the way to the high court, his 34 convictions are going to be overturned on appeal. Now, if you're a New Yorker, you can save New York by letting the New York appellate court do it. But if you've already gotten to the New York appellate court and you just want to see Trump in jail, fine, go ahead and do that. The next appeal is going to be to the SCOTUS. The SCOTUS can't turn it down. There is now a precedent that was set in the recent, is it the Gonzalez case? I think it's the Gonzalez case. In the Gonzalez case last week, there was a precedent that has now been set. There's twice now. The precedent has been reaffirmed. You cannot convict someone of a felony without a unanimous jury agreeing to the felony he's convicted of. That's not how they convicted Trump. The case is going to be eradicated. They're going to vacate the decision. Now, if you're Marshawn and you're the Democrats that put him up to this, what is the incentive now to lock Trump away? Knowing that either the New York appellate court or the Supreme Court, if it goes that far, is going to vacate the sentence. They're going to vacate the judgment. He's not guilty. Do they send it back to the lower court? Maybe. Is there time enough to have a new kangaroo show trial? Probably not. So what's the incentive there? Do you play that card? Do you run the risk? Do you run the risk of taking mild-mannered people that may kind of still be on the fence, seeing the kangaroo show trial, and then putting the presidential candidate, putting him in jail? You run the risk, and all you need to tip is 2 or 3 percentage points. You don't need a windfall. 2 or 3 percentage points either way of tipping voter sentiment, and this is not an apologia for voting either. Voter sentiment, 2 or 3 percentage points towards Trump, just for who said it best? I think James, the Nigerian trad, said it best last night on our coverage when he said, "Look, I'm a black man." He goes, I had a lot of black friends, and I can tell you that many of them are now Trump people because they're seeing what they did to Trump. It's been done to them. It's been done to their sons. It's been done to their nephews. It's been done to the kid down the street. We've all seen blacks railroaded in courts and taking plea deals and whatever for stuff that they probably didn't do. Do you run the risk, though, is the question, of going through with the plan, which was to lock Trump up, put him in jail, make him have to get out, all to elevate Joe Biden? After last night, do you still stick with the plan? Why expend the political capital? Trump will win from jail. Let me repeat that. Trump will win from jail. He'll do something that William Jennings Bryan and Eugene Debs couldn't do because both of them ran from jail. He will win from jail. So let's just pretend that he's still in Rikers Island or whatever. What does hateful Hochul, Satan's apostle, do when Trump is elected on November the 5th and he's sitting in a New York jail? You talk about a constitutional crisis. Is this the war? Is this what the Democrat Party wants? The movie Civil War that came out this year. Do they actually want that to come? Do they want that in real life? I don't know the answer to that. I tend to think that because they are so married to death that they really don't care. And if it needs to be a war here in the United States, so be it. Let me make another point. on what it could or what is possible here. The Democrat Party has this thing called the superdelegate system. Now, you can only use the superdelegates at the convention. Hillary has a new book coming out from Steinman and Schuster. She's on all the usual shows. She's on the mouth of all the usual suspects. They're all talking about her out there. She's got a brand new makeover. They cut her hair, and they got a brand new set of publicity pictures. The reviews of the book are glowing. It's Hillary like you've never seen her, etc. They're setting Hillary up here as the takeover. And again, the party of the deal that was made with Julian Assange. How do you know that there wasn't a June surprise and that Jill Biden didn't have someone fly to the UK, get an audience with Assange, and say, "Look, we'll make you a deal, brah. You want out of jail? We want you to take Hillary out as she tries to move on Joe." Simple as that. Yes or no? We're going to make you plead guilty to something to make it look like this whole thing is legit. But simple question, yes or no? Will you take the deal? And will you be our insurance policy against Hillary? Do you have the dirt on the Podestas? Do you have the dirt on Hillary? Do you have the dirt on the Clinton Global Initiative? Which I'm certain that in the WikiLeaks files and the emails from the DNC server that he does. Okay, fine. We'll let you out. You got to be our go-to guy. Does the whole Assange thing, as I detailed on Tuesday, does it now make sense after last night of why they needed the insurance policy? Makes sense to me, folks. This is Sean Fleetwood at the Federalist. 20 biggest lies Biden told during his debate with Trump last night. One of the biggest whoppers, and we're going to completely and totally demolish this for all of you today, is this lie about the summer riot that happened in Charlottesville. That supposedly Trump instigated and supposedly that Trump went to afterwards and congratulated and patted the foot soldier or the guys on the Nazis and the skinheads on the back. Before we do that, though, I see Eric Trump is on Fox and Friends this morning. Just might eavesdrop on this conversation real quick.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm not sure if I've ever seen the Democratic media kill a candidate, one of their own, like they did last night. It was kind of remarkable. I've been sitting on the couch with you guys for, a decade now, over a decade now, and I have never seen a time where the mainstream media didn't provide air cover for one of their own. And if you looked at CNN last night, they were absolutely killing him. But you know what, guys, it's the exact reason that they've spent the last 3 years indicting my father. That performance last night.
That's a good point.
They knew they needed anything. They needed to pull the rabbit out of the hat. They needed every advantage that they could possibly get, right? So they went after him in Georgia, and they went after him in New York. They've gone after him civilly. They've gone after him criminally. They've gone after his family. They've tried to take him down in every way, shape, or form because they know that the guy that they have out there. And, a picture speaks 1,000 words, right? He lost the debate before he said his first word just based on how he entered that stage. He looked old. He looked frail. He could hardly move. He was mumbling as he came on stage. And listen, my father did what he did best. I mean, he spoke to the American people, and he did a hell of a job. And I'm incredibly, incredibly proud of him. He nailed it last night. He did a great job.
Eric, I saw some.
And if you missed it, if you didn't see it, when Biden walked on the stage last night, he was looking down at the ground. He pointed to someone, and it looked like he was kind of talking to himself. There was something, though, I wanted to point out. I haven't seen anyone else point this out. And I don't know, maybe CNN provided them with notebooks and pens. Joe had a notebook. Did you see Trump reach for the notebook? I never saw President Trump reach for the notebook. Joe Biden had a notebook. He had a single-spaced, white paper, blue line, kind of like a notepad. And he had pens. And he kept picking the notepad up. And it wasn't as though he was writing things and what Trump was saying so he could refer back to them, because he was turning pages. Go back and watch the tape. Stop the tape. Go back and watch the tape, and you will see that Biden had a notepad. There was stuff written on it, and he was turning the pages. That's kind of like cheating, isn't it? So I agree with Eric Trump. The moment that Biden set foot on the stage, when he answered his first question, again, I don't know if the Trumps are aware of this, or maybe they have decided they're not going to talk about this. This wasn't just the Democrat Party after the fact taking their candidate out and throwing him under the bus and backing it up over him. I think, again, that they set him up. I think they wanted this to happen. It needs to happen now in June while you still have some time to try to field some kind of a replacement candidate, whoever that may be. We may all find out. What happens if today, now this is interesting. We have a listener that is listening to other radio shows. I'm gonna let him slide on that. Listening to other radio shows in the DC radio market. How dare you, Jonathan? But he did give me a report. Here's what's funny is listening to the DC AM News. It appears a lot of Biden's foot soldiers didn't get the DNC memo and are still trying to carry water for the old man. This sets up an interesting divide. Here is the headline at the Drudge Report this morning. Operation Replace Biden. Dems scramble with 130 days to go. Debate catastrophe. This is where my experience here as your kind, humble leader comes into play. And while you're all fortunate that we're here, I watched the Bush-Clinton debates in 1992. Talked about them on air next day. I watched the the Clinton Dole debates in 1996. Talked about them next day on the air. I watched the Gore-Bush debates in 2000. Talked about them the next day on air. I watched the John Rambo Kerry Bush debates in 2004. I watched the Obama-McCain debates. Watched the Romney-Obama debates. Again, watched the Hillary-Trump debates. Biden-Trump 2020. And again last night. So I have a little bit of a frame of reference here. I might know a little bit more than the average YouTube talking head. Let me tell you what the difference between last night and all 8 of those previous debates were. You were guaranteed, it didn't matter what Obama said. It did not matter what Al Gore said. Everything that should be up is down. Everything that should be down is up. With Bill Clinton and I are going to... It was irrelevant what was said. You could rely on a couple of things after one of these debates, and that is the Demoncrat MSM, the Malachian satanic media, the Demoncrats MSM springing into action and doing CPR on their guy or gal. You take it to the bank, dude. It's going to happen. It doesn't matter what was said. They're going to proclaim the Democrat the clear and bold winner here and the great leadership for America. That is as my old buddy Mark Kreslin used to say. That's baked into the cake. That's going to happen. For the first time in 32 years, 8 presidential election cycles, it didn't happen. It did not happen. The record will show that the exact opposite happened. Indeed, it almost sounded like Joy Reid and Rick Madcow and the rest of the gang on MSNBC were positively pro-Trump last night. Maybe they looked at this, and maybe they went like, do we really want to attach our lives, fortunes, and unsacred obedience to Satan, dishonor on this guy? Maybe they looked at it and went like, do we want to go down with this ship? Because this Titanic is going to hit an iceberg, and it's not going to take that long to sink. It's going to take on a lot of water, and it may suck a bunch of us down to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean and pull us down in the draft as it sinks. That's one possibility. The other possibility is maybe they genuinely didn't know. But then again, I go, how could you be this stupid? To me, it is physically, with a pair of eyeballs, impossible to have not seen this coming. How did you not know? This is what Biden, that this is Biden. This is the leader of the free world. That was him on the stage. That's as good as it did. That was his finest moment of the year. Who's to blame for that? Here, play Chris Wallace. I thought that Wallace had digital media file number in it. We'll play them all. The son of 60 Minutes' famous Mike Wallace, Chris Wallace, now wandering. I don't even know where the guy is. I guess he's a contributor for CNN now. This is not what you would expect to get from Chris Wallace, who is a lifelong Democrat.
That the two of them decided after November of 2022 that he was going to seek the presidency when there were so many people who thought he should have turned it over to a new generation. And this has been, quite frankly, a car accident in slow motion that we've seen over and building and questioning it. And, you know, as has been pointed out, Joe Biden sought this debate at this remarkably early time because he knew he was losing and he needed to change the narrative. And he did change the narrative. He sunk his campaign tonight.
He's... You know, it's difficult to not be giddy about this and to not spike their heads in the end zone and, and to not do what they would do to us if the shoes were on the proverbial other foot. So my big takeaway again is, and I wrote this on the Substack. You can find it at thekingdude.substack.com. I'm going to make a point here that, again, I don't think most people would make, but I think it's accurate. And I think also it is indicative of where we are and of what happened last night. And do you have Trump's closing statement? Okay. So let me set this up. At the end of that debate, Don John of Mar-a-Lago is revealed as a knight of the highest order. So my review of the whole thing, you can find at thekingdude.substack.com. When Trump goes out there, and I'm going to paraphrase, Joe, I wish you had been a great president. I so wish you had been great, because if you had, I'd have stayed out of all this. But because you were and are so horrible, I felt like I had to come back and do something about it, Joe. I could be enjoying a beautiful wife and family and so many beautiful, great places. But instead, I'm here because of you. You're destroying our country, and someone has to stop you. Now, that's the paraphrase. I'll play what he actually said. Take this away from this and put it in the bank. That is what... That's it. That is the age-old epic tale from Chaucer all the way to today of the old retired knight who only beats his plowshare back into a sword because he becomes convinced that his king and his country need him. That he leaves the farm, puts the armor back on, and agrees to go back to war. That's Trump. Like him or not, that's Trump. And what is that? That is not ego. That is love. That is love of country. That's a commitment to a duty the common man, I don't think the common man can fathom it, but I think he admires it. And I don't think the common man, your average guy, would volunteer for it. Why would you? So answer the question, why shouldn't you, me, us, love the guy who is willing to do that? For you, for me, and for your kids. Whether he gets it right or not, he doesn't have to do it. Why shouldn't I be willing to beat my plowshare into a ruddy sword and join him? Well, I'm answering on my Substack. I have, and I think I will. What are you going to do? You're going to sit out there and nitpick. I don't think this is the time for nitpicking here. These people are evil. You can see what they've done. The cards are all laid out on the table now. It's a choice. This is simply a choice. You can drop out of politics all you want. Fine. Voting is rigged. I get all of that. At least put the effort in. This is a moment when something needs to change and it needs to stop. I don't think anyone has thought this whole, I can't wait for the U.S. to go bankruptcy thought through. I don't really think you want that. You better think about that. It's not going to turn out the way you think it's going to turn out. There aren't going to be roses after a week or so of hardship, and then everyone's going to, yeah, USA is back. I don't think bankrupting and completely, totally destroying and debasing the currency turns out the way some of you think it's going to turn out in your fantasies. As a matter of fact, I think it turns out awfully for an awful lot of people. So, can the border be closed again? Obviously, yes. Can the deportations begin? Can they happen? Obviously, yes. You know what I saw yesterday around 10 a.m. or so yesterday? I saw the family of Alexis Nungary. I saw Alexis go in. I saw her grandpa. I saw her grandma. I saw the aunt. I saw the little boy. I saw the grieving family members going to go bury Jocelyn Nungary, the 12-year-old who was raped, gang raped for 2 hours by a pair of Venezuelan criminals who came to the United States at the invitation of the Biden regime. That's really all I need to know. That's really all the info I need to make a decision. So President Trump kind of brought that up last night. He didn't bring up the personal nouns. Maybe he was told, don't personalize this. Don't bring up the names. As Alexis Nungary keeps saying when she is interviewed, what poise that woman has. This has to stop. No more burying children who are murdered by people that shouldn't be in the United States here. So at the end of the day, you have Trump and you pretty much have nothing else. I think we should take our shot. We should stay vigilant. We should remain on his tail. You should try and hold it as best as is humanly possible. Yeah, the Zionists running Congress are going to go back. All this bad stuff is going to happen, man. Just deal with it. It's not going to do any good to complain about it. Why don't we try to see, like here in Louisiana, great things are happening with Governor Landry. There's great things happening in other states. So get Trump at the top, stop the bleeding, stop the damage, get rid of Biden, get rid of the Demoncrats that hate you and me and want to kill all of us. Literally, they want the population to be replaced by people who aren't citizens. And then begin the hard work of rebuilding at the smallest grassroots level. But how can you fault? Play Trump's closing statement here. This, to me, there's a little bit of rambling here. Some of you are going to go, that's rambling. Listen to the part where he becomes a knight in shining armor. He goes like, I don't have to do this.
Like so many politicians, this man is just a complainer. He said, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. All he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to pour in. Our military doesn't respect him. We look like fools in Afghanistan. We didn't stop Israel. It was such a horrible thing that would have never happened. It should have never happened. Iran was broke. Anybody that did business with Iran, including China, they couldn't do business with the United States. They all passed. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, for terror, no money whatsoever. Again, Ukraine should have never happened. He talks about all this stuff, but he didn't do it. For 3.5 years, we're living in hell. We have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville. This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000 times. The whole country is exploding because of you, because they don't respect you, and they have to respect their president, and they don't respect you throughout the world. What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut in history, the largest regulation cut in history. The reason he's got jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs, but he's putting a lot of those regulations back on. All of the things that we've done, nobody's never seen anything like. Even from a medical standpoint, right to try, where we can try space-age materials instead of going to Asia or going to Europe and trying to get when you're terminally ill. Now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was incredible. Choice for our soldiers, where our soldiers, instead of waiting for 3 months to see a doctor, can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves, and they're living. And that's why I had the highest approval rating in the history of the VA. So all of these things, we're in a failing nation, but it's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Thank you, former President Trump. President
Must have been the previous statement because he didn't say it. Trust me, he said it. And you talked about the I don't have to do this. I could go retire. I could go to one of my golf course resorts if I wanted to, living my life out happily. They drop all the charges against me. At least he was putting complete sentences together. So that is the recap from last night. Let's do a couple of fact checks here. Mike Churchill on the Crusade Radio Network. If you are a Founders Pass member, listen up. You have an email in your email box right now. The email in your email box says, special message, please don't delete. Here's the deal. I'll be brief. Golden Truth Ticket, Crusade Radio Network, survival is at stake. You're going to do this. We're going to pull it out. We're going to make live talk radio great again, as we have been all year and for 8 years here. You're going to get that email, and 120 of you are going to volunteer to go buy 3 Golden Truth tickets, and we win the day. It's over. The fundraiser is a complete and total smashing success because there are hundreds of you that already planned today, Friday, payday this weekend, last minute. We know it. You're going to go buy a single ticket for a chance to win. Congratulations. I want all of you to win. I wish you could give everyone you get a car, you get a car, everybody gets a car. But 120 of you are going to do this because I'm asking you and Maggie's asking you, and you're going to get that email and you're going to read that title and you're going to read those a brief note and you're going to like, okay, TKD, I'm going to do it. So maybe you've already got 2 tickets. You buy one more, that gets you to the 3. That counts, okay? But 120 people to get to the 3 tickets, you're going to go do that. I think there are already going to be hundreds of you that this weekend and today are going to go buy a single ticket for a chance to win. You know, Peter Kerr won with a single ticket. Kenneth Snyder, who won the first year, won with a single ticket. The guy that won from Bulldog Kia last year, the Georgia, the soup kitchen dude, the Sparrow's Nest, 1 ticket. He bought 1 ticket. 1. So it doesn't take 30, although I hope you will go buy 30. We're going to get to the 1,000 tickets because 120 heroic Mike Churchill Crusade Radio Network super fan listeners are going to get that email that I just sent out. You're going to act and you're going to go buy the 3. Send me a note and tell me you're in that number. I am KingDude at protonmail.com. That's going to happen. It's going to happen today or tomorrow or Sunday or Monday, but we're going to get to the 1,000, and that's how we're going to do it. And then all the rest of you, as I said, you only need 1 ticket. 1. Hundreds of you are being called upon to go buy 1. 100 of you will go buy 2, but that number, that counter's already begun because many of you already have. So read the email. Act accordingly. Save the crusade. Thank you in advance. All right, where are we? Got about a minute left here. Do I have time to play? Okay, I tell you what, we'll take the time out. We're going to come back. If you heard the fascism lie last night, I'm going to get into that. We'll talk about what actually happened in Charlottesville. Because I've been following this, and I follow this guy who follows the Ukraine war very carefully. I follow a bunch of people that follow the war in Ukraine. Zelensky thinks Biden is going to lose because he's sending Ukrainian diplomats to kind of hint to Putin that it's time to talk. I'll tell you all about it when we come back. Yesterday was the most listened to day in the history of the Crusade Radio Network. We began 4 weeks ago, a little over 4 weeks ago, broadcasting all 3 hours of this show for free on YouTube to build an audience there. We're almost up to 1,000 subscribers now. You can help that along. Go to the Crusade Radio Network and tap subscribe. Hundreds upon hundreds of people now listening per day. A couple of thousand last night were listening and watching our live coverage of the first and only debate. What are we going to do now until the election day? We're not going to have any more debates. Unless they actually pull the trigger and they get rid of Joe and they put Hillary in there. There's not going to be any. They are not going to run the risk. They're going to put a lid on this guy. And the lid may be from now until November if they don't just go to the White House and say, look, dude, you got to drop out. Maybe that happens today. Maybe it doesn't. But I can tell you, here is the soundbite I was looking for last segment, which makes President Trump the knight in shining armor.
Now, I'll tell you something. I wish he was a great president because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be at one of my many places enjoying myself. I wouldn't be under indictment because I wouldn't have been his political opponent because he indicted me because I was his opponent. I wish he was a great president. I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. The only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president that I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again. We're a failing nation right now. We're a seriously failing nation. And we're a failing nation because of him. Now,
Okay. I don't want to be here. I don't mind being here, but somebody has to do this. All right. You want to hear more carnage? Let me take you back to 1994. Biden's been denying that he ever used the term super predator and that he has nothing but love in his heart for blacks. Last night he rambled on for 5 minutes about all of these programs that the government's going to put in place for blacks. I'm watching this and I'm going like, dude, you're telling black men they need to come back to the plantation, that they are hopeless and they are useless and they are worthless. And the only way that they're going to get out of whatever situation they are in life is if they turn to the Democrat Party and the government for another bailout. So again, come back to the plantation. Here's some cotton over here you need to go pick. They're called votes. Just go vote for us. Go pick the cotton and, we'll bail you out. We'll educate you. We'll feed you. We'll house you. Like, this is insulting. If I were a black dude and I was hearing this, I'd go, I don't need you, old man. I am capable of doing this myself. But before he turned into Joe, the caregiver for all blacks, he was this guy.
There's about 100,000 of them who are the predators. 100,000 of the kids you read about in the front page of the newspaper every day. Unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing, a portion of them will become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets. They are beyond the pale, many of those people. We have no choice but to take them out of society.
What about the illegal Venezuelan predators, Joe? What about the illegal Ecuadorian predators, Joe? What about the illegal Mexican Sinaloa cartel predators, Joe? What about the illegal predators from Guatemala, Joe? What about the illegal predators from Nicaragua, Joe? What about the illegal predators? Here, insert South American countries here. Oh, wait, we don't have to limit it to that. What about the illegal predators on our streets from Afghanistan, Joe? What about the illegal predators on our streets from Saudi Arabia, Joe? What about the illegal predators on our streets from Syria, from Lebanon, from the Sudan, from Somalia? Oh, that's right, they're not illegal alien predators. No, they're asylum seekers. You know what they're seeking asylum from? Prosecution for their violent crimes that they committed. And you're happy to give it to them. Boy, the digital age is a bitch, isn't it? Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of YouTube law. All right, Virginia violence. Here, Biden was harping on this. Hey, Truender dashed up in the next and then Ross. They came out of the woods in Charlotte with torches. Who carries torches? With torches, and they had the skinheads and they had swastikas on their arms, and they were chanting "Death to America" and "Death to blacks." And he said, "Why was he said, yeah, love those guys. They're proud boys, Nazis." He actually said Nazis 4 times. It's in the transcript. 4 times he said Nazis. He said Trump said great. Yay, Nazis. Okay. Now, maybe in his dementia, this is what he thinks Trump said, but this is what Trump actually said.
And you had some very bad people in that group. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay?
That's what he said. That was me and Corn Pop. I was in the water, and I was looking at my legs, blonde hair, and I could see the water moving the hairs on my legs, and there were blacks all around me looking at my legs. True, that's a true quote. And while I was doing that, he was burning torches with Nazis. Did that sound like he was congratulating the Nazis? Did it sound like he was rolling the red carpet out? Just come to the White House, Nazis, we love you. He even said, I wrote it down, he even said, you know, I didn't write that one. Here's what I wrote down. That's right, Joe, you did. You beat, you did the number on Medicare, all right? You beat it to death, Joe. Trump called in the Manchurian candidates. In one of his rambles, in one of his dementia, Alzheimer's rambles, Biden started rambling on about lead pipes. I'm going like, lead pipes? Lead pipes have been illegal since the 1970s. The hell are you talking about? As a matter of fact, there was a mandate that came out with it was part of the first Clean Water Act, that if there were any remaining lead pipes, you had to remove them from any building that had any kind of public accommodation in there, for fear that if the water sat in the lead pipe for any extended period of time, it absorbs the lead, you drink it, and it fries your brain. This was the thing that happened when, remember the mistake of putting canned food first, because lead was cheap and was easy to get, was able to mold into lead cans. It only took them a year or so to figure out, why is everybody turning stupid? Well, they're all eating pork and beans. They came from cans. Here, some more fallout from last night here on the Mike Church on the Crusade Radio Network. This is Joy Reid. Oh, wow. Even the gang at OMSNBC have now fled the flaming bag of poop that the teenagers left on your doorstep. That is the Biden campaign.
I, too, was on the phone throughout much of the debate with Obama world people, with Democrats, with people who are political operatives, with campaign operatives. My phone really never stopped buzzing throughout. And the universal reaction was somewhere approaching panic. The people who were texting with me were very concerned about President Biden seeming extremely feeble, seeming extremely weak.
Biden has seemed feeble and weak since 2020, ma'am. Since 2020.
Yeah, that's the point I was about to make. She is a journalist. What does that say about her journalism skills to all of a sudden, just last night, come to the realization that the man is old, frail, and has dementia?
No, Maggie. This is the Malachian Satanic Media, MSM. This is a talking point. This is 2 weeks to slow the spread, 15 days to flatten the curve. This is the memo that went out. They all got the same talking points. The old man is finished. Throw him under the bus. Disassociate yourself with him. This is a catastrophe. Now I don't know. Play it again. Play it again. You people at home, you got to hear this again. Play it again. One more time. I want you to listen for something very, very. Now listen closely. You're going to hear it. I'm gonna go stop the tape when she says it.
I, too, was on the phone throughout much of the debate with Obama world people.
Stop the tape. Obama. World people. Well, first of all, that's very stereotypical of you, Joy. Obama. Why did she mention Obama? Why is she texting Obama? Why is Obama blowing up Joy Reid's phone? And by the way, can I just say for those of you that may go like, you're short, Joy Reid is a beautiful woman. It could be a beautiful something other than what she currently is. It's an utter, what a complete and total waste and disaster it is for that woman to be carrying the water for people that hate her. At the end of the day, the MSM, the Malachian satanic media, and Lucifer, that's at the head of this cabal, they all hate her. These people, maybe they're realizing now just how set up they have been. Well, why is she on the phone with Obama? And why is Obama saying, holy crap? You mean Barack? Barack was just with him. Did not Obama know this? Didn't Obama send his lieutenants out, his lieutenants, to go out and dutifully report the other day? No, I wasn't guiding Joe off the stage. No. We were just having a friendly conversation because we love each other. We're brothers. And all of a sudden, 9 days later, now, throw Joe under the bus. You know, remember the movie Throw Mama from the Train? Throw Biden from the train? Sorry. Not buying it. Why were you on the phone? Why were you texting Obama? Why is Obama telling you that this is a disaster? Why are world people? And what do they plan to do about it? You know, there's still that contingent out there that thinks that the Obamas are going to drop Big Mike Obama. You know him as Michelle. They're going to drop Big Mike on the Democrat National Circus. They're going to ask Big Mike to take the baton. I don't think so, but it could be fun to think about. Remember this golden oldie from the Mike Church Show band, you people? While we're talking about Obama.
All his skin is brown. And his eyes are gray. He went for a walk. For the rights of gay.
It never gets old, does it?
He would end the war if he ran the USA. Obama is dreaming. Obama NOA. Stopped into a church to kiss Al Sharpton's aid. Well, I smacked down Hillary.
Just ask Obama what the...
There are times when he sounds like Jesus in the temple.
It's not enough.
Obama, you like him? He's the best candidate I've ever seen.
This is 2008 Mike Church Show band. Get the track at shop.mikechurch.com.
It was in these neighborhoods that I received the best education that I ever had, and where I learned the meaning
of hardcore holes, nappy-headed holes, jugaboos, and wannabes.
It is time for us to have universal sparkling water. It's long overdue.
This is absurd.
Obama.
All his skin is brown. And his eyes are gray. We've been for a walk. For us in Iowa. Someone ought to tell her. I'm in the lead today. Obama is dreaming. Obama NOA. Obama NOA. Obama NOA.
Right, here comes.
Why don't we just ask Osama Obama?
Ted Kennedy. Ted Kennedy, why don't we just ask Osama about Obama? This is at a time when Osama bin Laden was still wanted for 9/11. The hell would you go ask Osama bin Laden? Yeah, there is we will be here. We'll cover it live here on the Crusade Radio Network. There is a couple of Supreme Court cases yet to be delivered. Decision. I told someone the other day when they started releasing opinions last week, I'm like, no, you're not going to get the Trump immunity opinion until Friday before the day they break for the year. It's gonna be like the Dobbs decision. It's gonna be the last one that's gonna come out, and they have fled the building. they are G-O-N-G gone. She gone, he gone, they're gone. That opinion is going to be the last one that comes out from the court today on Trump's immunity. Now, this actually came up last night. Trump actually said, you know what, Joe? If the court doesn't rule in my favor, Joe, you could be a convicted felon. Did you catch that part? You call me a convicted felon, Joe? Go ahead. For all the things that you did, you could be a convicted felon. If I don't get immunity, I'm listening to this going, what about Obama? What about Barack Hussein Obama? Could we have prosecution of Obama after the fact and say, like, well, the things when he did, this just wasn't in the carrying out of his duties as El Presidente? Alex Wagner on OMSNBC. Another one stunned. Another journalist that did not see and didn't do any due diligence in seeing or making a journal of what you and I were seeing with our eyes, which was the decline of Biden. Again, I'm not buying it. They all knew this. They were just the scripts are written in England or London or wherever they're written. They're sent out. They all go out there and they repeat it. Last night they got the new script. Can you imagine you're Joe Scarborough or whoever, and you're sitting there and your phone goes off and you look at it and it's like the bat alert, right? The bat phone goes off. You get the bat alert from Lucifer himself. And then, you gotta press the secret decoder ring in there or give a drop of your vampire blood on the phone, the special DNA sensing phone. And then it opens the message up, change of plan. And it contains throw Biden from the train. And then it contains the marching orders. All operatives are now ordered. Remember at the end of John Wick 3? Remember when in 12 minutes, John Wick goes in, was it incognito? Excommunicado. In 12 minutes, John Wick goes excommunicado. Well, here's another one. Alex Wagner, Tuesday, we didn't see this go. This was a disaster.
I'm not going to put a fine sheen on it or a spin on it, even though I'm in the spin room, Rachel. There has been a uniformly negative reaction to Biden's performance tonight. Surely, as Joy said, this was about revealing who Donald Trump was, but it was also Joe Biden battling a caricature of himself as an enfeebled person, an impression that Trump has been eager to convey to the country, and he did nothing to disabuse, I think, the country of the notion that he is very old and was lost frequently in that debate.
He did nothing to disabuse that he is old and was lost. Ma'am, he has been old and lost for 3.5 years. This is not a new development. But you know what? This is gather around the radio and the TV, kiddies. This is a teachable moment. What do we always talk about? What do we always talk about when it comes to these sorts of things? Reality. What is truth? Conformity of the mind to reality. What is the truth of the matter? He's been old. He's been wandering. He's been decrepit. He's been like this for quite some time. He's getting worse. What is the truth of the matter? The American people are smarting. They're hurting. You tried to kill us with COVID. The people that survived the corona doom that weren't mentally screwed and committed suicide were told that they had to inject this Pfizer goo into their veins. You tried to kill them with the vaccine mandate. That's all Biden. You're trying to tell people now, you're telling people, get rid of your gas stove. We're going to come and take it. We're going to regulate your water. You're taking showers? Stop taking showers. Oh, you need electricity? Too bad. Yeah, we're going to take that away too because we are the Green New Deal. You're the Secretary of the Transportation Department who cannot explain why bridges are falling into rivers. Who cannot explain why planes are falling out of the sky. Who cannot explain why there are new, all of a sudden, exorbitant fees on air travel. Everything these people touch turns to crap. As you know, you go back to the Ronald Reagan days. Here, what's the biggest joke in D.C.? Here, I'm from the government, I'm here to help. Slam the door. At the end of the day, the people that are in denial of reality, and that's what they are. There's one of two. You can draw one of two conclusions from this. One, they knew it and they lied about it, and they just did what they told. Two, they are completely and totally incompetent at being actual quote journalists close quote, and failed miserably at their job and just realized it last night. Now, I say it's choice one that they did know. And that they lied about it. Why are they telling us now? So, I wrote this track 3 months ago, where I came up with the idea for this track and wrote it down and sent it to the Mike Church Show band's Jim Mosher, who's been very, very busy and very stressed of late. And hasn't had the time to do some of the things that there's a lot of songs in the queue that we would have new songs from the band. But last night while we were covering the debate, and thanks for all of you that watched and chatted with us in the Crusader Stadium chat room. I'm still in it today. Go ahead over to crusadechannel.com/chat. And over 1,300 chats last night, or messages, in the chat room on the Crusade Radio Network YouTube channel. So in any event, this is just kind of a teaser. This bit is not yet completely finished, but I think that you will get the point. And that is from the musical genius, Mike Church Show band. If you heard it from the start, it starts off really, really cool. I just played it. You can imagine Trump sound bites on top of this, right?
Trump man. Trump man. Trump man. Trump man. Trump man. Trump man. Trump man.
And you get the point. We'll work on it, and by the time we come back from the July holiday, we'll find out whether or not he's going to jail, first of all. That's something we haven't talked about. But let me take you to the headlines before we go back to digital media files. This just out from WNBC. Demoncrats are talking about replacing Joe Biden. That wouldn't be so easy, they say. Democrat Party rules make it almost impossible to replace nominees without their consent, let alone smoothly substitute in someone else. There's a Ben Kamazar and Alexis Seats Wald. Biden's performance in the first debate Thursday has sparked a new round of criticism from Demoncrats as well as public and private musing about whether he should remain at the top of the ticket. There is a sense of shock at how he came out at the beginning of this debate, how his voice sounded. He seemed a little disoriented. David Axelrod, who was a top White House and campaign official for former President Barack Obama, said on the Clinton News Network, there are going to be discussions about whether he should continue. A Democrat lawmaker asked my NBC News whether the debate inspired confidence in Biden, replied, quote, the best thing I can do to help Joe Biden is to pretend I didn't get your text message. Close quote. California Governor Gruesome Newsom, his name is often floated as a potential alternative nominee, told reporters in the spin room after the debate that his party, quote, could not be more wholly unified behind Biden, close quote, and said Biden shouldn't step aside.
His campaign after the debate said he wouldn't drop out.
But the private whispers whipped up after Thursday's debate performance, during which Biden had a raspy voice, spoke softly, and at times seemed to lose his train of thought. You guys are being kind. Look, you can get on this guy and CPR, push on his heart all you want. You are not going to be able to resuscitate this political corpse. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't have 20 million spare votes laying around out there that they could still elect this guy. Ask yourself the question, though, if they can't get rid of him, do they want him at the, quote, top of the ticket on November the 5th? Do they want to expend the political capital and run the risk that somebody gets caught and that they lose and trying to pull off another big cheat? I wouldn't. For him? Now, again, the real takeaway from this is, if you want one, and I'll give it to you, the real takeaway from this is either they knew this was going on and they lied about it and they were just covering it up and they were just ignoring it because they really don't care. And I think that this is the answer. Or they really are just totally shocked and surprised. Oh, my. I am so surprised by what I saw last night at the debate. I can't believe it. No. If you didn't see this coming, you're a dumbass. And as a matter of fact, if you didn't see this coming, turn in your fake journalism card. Quit. You're not a judge. Quit. Quit today. You're not a journalist. Why would anyone trust you with covering the repair of a bridge that crosses the Mississippi River, for example? You couldn't see that this old man was wasting away in Dementiaville? Why do I want you reporting on things that may get me and my family killed? Why do I want you covering Boeing in the 737-8 series, for example? Oh, we didn't see that giant crack on the wing. You didn't. You walked around the plane. You wrote glowing reviews about you. You didn't see the crack in the wing. What that? This is not going to end well, and it shouldn't end well for these people. Remember, these are the same people that are lining up teenagers to be mutilated in these things called hospitals. These are the same people that have turned doctors into Victor Frankensteins. These are the same people that turned doctors into James Jones at Jonestown. The only difference between the cyanide Kool-Aid and the Franken-jab, the Pfizer goo, was that the cyanide killed the people there quickly. And it was a horrible and violent death, too, by the way. It just took the Franken-jab just a little bit longer to get the job done. The result is the same. These are the people that are behind the mandates for childhood vaccine schedules, all of which now, same reporters, could you not follow RFK Jr. and the research that the Children's Health Defense Fund has done? Could you not follow Del Bigtree, for example, the journalist and documentary filmmaker? Could you not follow Del Bigtree and just study a little bit about what all of these cocktails of vaccines you've been pumping into little boys since the late 1970s and early 80s of what they have actually done to the children. You know, if anyone should be getting the black eye today, it is the MSM, the Malachian satanic media.
I was just going to say that. Let's not pretend here. It was just a week ago that Corinne Jean-Pierre came out and was calling these videos of where Biden was spacing out cheap fakes and deep fakes. They know exactly what the problem was. They covered it up.
You know what, Maggie? I hadn't even thought about it. We're on like 4 hours of sleep from last night, and thank you for watching our coverage last night. We're happy to be here, and we're even going to do a Free Farm Friday. We have a great guest for Free Farm Friday today. You're right. Go find Corinne Jean-Pierre. Let's play it back. Blackety Ann, as I call her, KJP, was out there. This is what we call these aren't even good fakes, deep fakes. These are cheap fakes. Everyone knows that the president is fully aware where he is. He is in complete control of his faculties. These are a bunch of MAGA extremists who were taking these videos. Remember, we were accused of taking the videos and doctoring them. We took the videos and edited them, going like, no, we didn't. I got the video from you. I got the video from NBC. I didn't make it. Take it up with NBC. NBC made it. Oh, and they used the word, the thing became a trending word on Twitter for a day, cheap fake. This is just a cheap fake. You know, I wonder, that's a good question, Ted, in the chat room. What is Blackety Ann going to say today? Oh, it's obvious to all the American people that watched last night that the president won the debate. Former President Trump was mean. You're going to say mean. He's going to, all day long, you're going to hear he was mean.
And I think you all have called this the cheap fakes video, and that's exactly what they are. They are cheap fakes video. They are done in bad faith, and some of your news organization have been very clear, have stressed that these the right-wing critics of the president have a credibility problem because of the fact checkers have repeatedly caught them pushing misinformation, disinformation, and so we see this, and this is something coming from your part of the world, calling them cheap fakes and misinformation.
Cheap fakes, misinformation. That's rich. Just these right-wing organizations. Oh, you mean the ones the Trump's leading with the torches and the Nazi armbands? Is that the cheap fake organization that you're talking about? I'm a media organization. All I did was play the video that I got from CNN or I got from the pool feed from Biden at Normandy. They published it. All I did was replay it. In denial. Now, the so-called journalist out there, again, folks, we should all be drinking Dom Perignon today. Just by virtue of the fact that Trump showed up, was lucid, gave decent answers. Some questions he gave better answers to. He's never been renowned. I don't think he's a great debater. But, you know, let me just cut to the chase here. And I have something else to say about President Trump. Let me just cut to the chase here. The Democrat Party has been revealed for what it is. It doesn't govern. It bullies. It doesn't care. It lies. It undermines care. And the answer and the solution, just like we were talking yesterday, on when we were talking about how the woman that was interviewing that forum with Tucker Carlson could not break outside of the script. Of the box that they trained her in, that they brainwashed her and they put her in. Or she could go gun control. Or she could go Hitler. Racist. When you spent your life imbibing this garbage, what does George Carlin say? Garbage in, garbage out. When you spend your life imbibing this garbage, You're going to spit it back out. You know, if I can make the point, this is why I teach and preach here on this Crusade Radio Network and the Mike Church Show. And by the way, 130 of you, how many of you have gone and done your 3 tickets? I asked 120 of you to go do it. I sent you an email. It came from Maggie and me. Did you do it yet? Do it now. Don't put it off. Save the crusade today. Let's do it today. CrusadeChannel.com/golden. This should be a major. This is a Rubicon. We're at the top of it. We're with Hannibal. We're on the elephants, and now we're on the downside of the Rubicon. We've crossed it. They crossed the Rubicon a long time ago. We're on a good Rubicon, though. They are programmed. You know, this is Aldous Huxley, the author, Brave New World. This is Aldous Huxley come to life. Remember, I had told you people this. I bought a copy of Brave New World because so many people told me that I needed to read it. So I did. I bought a copy, and I started to read it. I was so terrified of it by the time I got to the 7th chapter because the stuff that's in the book is happening. I was so mortified of it that I put it down and I was like, I can't finish it. It was giving me nightmares. They are Aldous Huxleyians. You know, Rod Dreher has made this point, Maggie, that most people say, this is Orwell, this is 1984. And Dreher goes, I don't think this is 1984. I don't think you're looking at this correctly. This is Huxley. This is an attempt by the enemy, by the demonically obsessed, possessed, and infatuated. This is an attempt to remake the human being. This is an attempt to reprogram man. This is an attempt to remove even the simple things from human existence and human flourishing, like making babies. This is an attempt to remake humans themselves, to make little girls into little boys and little boys into little girls. This is Huxley. That's not Orwell. This is Huxley. And it's horrifying. And you saw it last night. And you saw the ringleader of it in his incapacitated state, unable to answer the most feeble and simplest of questions. It wasn't an act. And by the way, I'm going to go back to what I said in this first segment of the program. That was sabotage. Whoever was responsible. Okay, remember last night when Trump goes, Joe, have you fired anyone, Joe? Yes, I fired him. He has a problem with firing people. I don't have a problem with firing people. Yeah, I fired that person, that general, because he stunk at his job. He didn't do what he was supposed to, so yeah, I fired him. You have that one?
No, I was just going to say, I think you're right, because Chris Wallace let the cat out of the bag when he said those two decided to go ahead and run. So Joe and Jill refused to bow out, and this was their payback. This is what happens when you tell them no.
Yeah, and now, are you going to tell them no now? They didn't tell them no in 2020. They're going to, now 4 years later, they're going to try to correct it. But there was an argument last night when Biden, in one of his rambles, and me and Corn Pop, we don't ever fire anyone. We love people. He fires people. And when Trump goes like, yeah, I fired him. I'd fire him again. And I fired a bunch of them. Who have you fired, Joe? Did you fire the person that was in charge of the border? By the way, we were reminded last night, who was put in charge of the border? Remember Obama in the 2015 State of the Union address said that he was leaving curing cancer to Joe. Joe was going to cure cancer. Remember that? And his first State of the Disunion, who did Biden leave the border to? Kamala. And as Trump was saying, Trump was talking about Alejandro Mayorkas. Why didn't he fire Mayorkas? I also like the point that the Parrot Talk host Mike Parrott made last night. Dude, when the choice between who is going to lead the free world comes down to golf handicaps. Discussion of, and by the way, even in the discussion on golf handicaps, Biden didn't know what he was talking about. First, he had a -8, a -6, and then he went, and me and Joey Corn Pop, Mike, you don't know, I beat you. My handicap's -8. I thought it was -6. Let him go. He's rolling. He couldn't even get his handicap straight. But the fact that and Trump goes, that's right, senior club champion, Joe. I won a tournament fair and square. It's fair and square. This is what I do, Joe. Firing people. But government doesn't fire people, ladies and gentlemen. The people that are responsible for the Franken-jab have not been fired yet. The man that is responsible for these vaccines and for the prescriptions that killed so many people and are still killing people and ruined so many people's lives, Anthony Fauci, has not been fired. He retired. He wasn't fired. He retired with honors and benefits. He's making 250 or 230 some odd grand a year in retirement. So yeah, Joe, we fired people. And there ought to be a lot of people fired. And I'm going to do it. America's historian reporting for duty here today, recapping the debate last night twixt Trump and the decrepit, aged Joseph Robinette Biden. Okay, you people, just got an update from the Golden Truth Ticket Exchequer. The password is Exchequer. How many of you can use the word exchequer in a sentence? I can. Just got the word from the Golden Truth Ticket Exchequer 53 Ford truck. We are almost at the halfway point in fundraising with today counts 4 days to go. So that is major progress. And Maggie is thanking all of you, but let's get 100% of the way there. To entice you, I went during the timeout and I activated the coupon code that you could take 10% off, and there is no limit. You want to buy 20 tickets? Take 10% off. Go do it right now. But I'm not giving you the coupon code. I'm not broadcasting it. You're going to have to go to crusadechannel.com/chat to get it. It's in the chat room. It works. I just checked it. Go use it. Now, I put the clarion call and challenged 120 of you to go buy 3 tickets apiece. You would be super patrons, and you literally would save the free world and live talk radio the way we do it here on the Crusade Radio Network. I sent you an email. All the links are in it. It's a personal note. We implore you to do it, and I know you're going to do it. Why not go do it right now? When you can take, look, maybe the 10% is no big deal to you. Well, fine, but if it is, or maybe you were going to plan to buy 10 tickets, well, go get 11. You go get 11, you do it right now, you get them for 10% off. So you get 11 for the price of 10. 3 tickets, 120 of you patrons. As of this morning, I needed 120. crusadechannel.com/golden. You want the discount. You see, Maggie, the discount I put in there? Maggie will type it in there and repeat it in case you just go to the chat room, because if you scroll up, you may not see it. crusadechannel.com/chat. You'll see the discount code. Now, while you're doing that, did you get the digital media file from Morning Ho?
I did.
The fallout from last night continues, but ladies and gentlemen, again, we should be popping champagne corks. The enemy has been identified. The enemy identified and outed itself. The enemy is now out in public. The enemy has now, it has basically now confessed. And then you have people like, it is kind of a confession, isn't it? All of a sudden, all these people, oh, yeah, he is old. Yeah, no, I don't think he should be our party leader. You know what this is, ladies and gentlemen? This is Mike Church's. This is Church's Maxim number 81. What is Church's Maxim number 81? Even when the Demoncrats lose, they never lose. They lost last night, folks. Let me pull a Biden here and whisper to you. They lost. Their guy, their party, 2024, the whole thing, they got their asses kicked. But no, they didn't lose. No, their guy is, they didn't see that he was senile. No, he had a cold. He'd been blindsided. They were completely and totally taken by surprise. Bull. Even when they see Church's Maxims, you people ought to write these things down. Number 81, even when the Democrats lose, they don't actually lose. Now they got to go out there and do this. Here's Joe Scarborough. Here's Morning Ho. Yeah, she a hoe. Yeah, that kind of hoe.
Well, I think I should start by saying, without any apologies, that I love Joe Biden and Jill, and I will gladly debate anybody, anytime, any place, anywhere over the issue of whether Joe Biden has been the most effective president in passing bipartisan legislation, in expanding NATO, in responding to the rising threat coming from China, by flexing America's strength around China.
Are you going to
by
make a
having
point?
The strongest economy in the world, bar none, the strongest economy actually relative to the rest of the world in 50, 60, 70 years, the strongest dollar in half a century.
Just answer the question, dumbass.
The strongest military relative to the rest of the world, I would argue, and many others would argue, since 1945, I think.
Go all the way back to 1787.
An unqualified success. If, however, you believe, as do I, and as do so many people who watch this program.
Where's John Belushi when I need him?
Who fear just how dark of a place a second Donald Trump term will take America, then I think it's critical that we ask the same questions about this man I love, respect, and whose public service in saving this country from Donald Trump over the last 3.5 years.
Oh, we all
honor
feel so
and always
saved.
will.
I'm saved.
I think we
How
have to
about you?
ask the same questions of him that we have asked of Donald Trump since 2016, and that is, if he were CEO and he turned in a performance like that, would any corporation in America, any Fortune 500 corporation in America, keep him on as CEO?
Is he talking about Trump or is he talking about?
He's talking about Biden.
What is going on here? Dude, that was a long way to basically get out, my guy sucks.
We need to reevaluate.
I need to reevaluate where I am with
Trump
this.
still sucks, but
Look, since Washington, Biden has been the greatest commander in chief. Since Washington, we've had the greatest economy.
I don't think you can fully judge a fraternity without looking at the positive qualities of the people in it. The Delta House has a long tradition of existence to its members and to the community at large.
I think we've heard enough, Mr. Chairman.
I was told I'd have a chance to...
That's
Here it comes.
The court will now render a decision.
Well, look, you said I could speak.
He said that's it!
Are you deaf?
Let's finish this damn thing.
I don't think it's fair.
I'll tell you what's fair, what's not.
Tell those assholes to shut up.
Hey, shut up, you ass!
Mr. President, do we have to listen to any more of this?
That's what we just. That's what I wanted to do to Morning Ho. Dude, you are a pathetic. You know, if you just remained a servant of the truth, you won't never have to apologize like that, Joe. You're Trump talking to Joe Scarborough. You know, Joe, if you just would have stayed with me and helped me make America great again, and not married a pinko communist pig. Yeah, she's a pinko. She's the daughter of a pinko communist pig. She's a commie, Joe. You're a commie now, too. As a matter of fact, you're making communism great again. And when communism is great, it's bad for America, Joe. This is an abject lesson here, ladies and gentlemen, in why formation matters. And why, when we say what is truth, conformity of the mind to reality, if you just use that as your guide, kiddies out there in broadcasting training school, remember, future members of the Crusade Radio Guild, because you guys are going to save it today by going to crusadechannel.com/golden and buying 3 tickets, 120 if you're going to do it today. Do it. Be a hero. Seriously. Go do it. Monday we come in, Golden Truth ticket, all 1,000 are sold. Gone. But really, if you want to be successful in life and you want to be successful at things, especially if you're going to work in the public, study Aristotelian Thomistic philosophy. Get yourself grounded in the truth. What is truth? Conformity of the mind to reality. Study minor logic. Study the Gospels. Become an actual believer. Believe that there is a God. Say the word supernatural and mean it. And mean the super part. You're a part of the natural. There is a super above. Learn the hierarchy. The patriarchy doesn't suck. Don't screw the patriarchy. Be in the patriarchy, and you'll never have to do an apologia, an embarrassing apologia like that guy just had to do. That is pathetic. That guy's groveling. He's on his freaking knees, groveling. And so his life is over. Joe, let me tell you what Peyton Manning told Phil Simms 10 years or so after Phil Simms threw Peyton Manning under the bus, said something about Peyton on his stupid show on HBO or whatever. And Peyton Manning goes, "You didn't really need to do that, Phil. Your show sucks. Nobody really watches it anyway. Doesn't matter. I don't care." No one was paying attention to you outside your little echo chamber, Joe. You and your little pinko commie bride. Nobody was paying attention to you other than those who are on the ground groveling with you now. Here's a question. Should we accept their apologies? Should we accept that they were just they were hoodwinked by this old man? I don't think I have ever heard anything so embarrassing in my life as that apology. He has been like a... Why did you just call him Dad? Why don't you just go like me and Hunter are like this? And Joe has been like a father to me. Joe, why didn't you just say that? You want to hear more? Why not? It's fun to pile on. Play Van Jones. Here's an actual professing socialist. Van Jones of the Clinton News Network. An actual professing socialist. Who, by the way, had one moment of truthful clarity in his life when he was forced to acknowledge back in 2017. It was this year when Van Jones came out and said, "I don't think you people are looking at this Trump guy the way you should be looking at him. This is not the 2020. This is the 2016 Trump. And guess what? You keep persecuting this guy. You're just this is Obi-Wan Kenobi. You can't win, Joe. If you strike me down in Maltichi Obama's court, in front of judge, the crooked judge, you can't win, Joe." Here's Van Jones just taking a white towel like in Rocky II and throwing it across the ring.
I just want to speak from my heart. I love that guy. That's a good man. He loves his country.
Oh, another one.
He's doing the best that he can. But he had a test to meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base, and he failed to do that. And I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see him consider taking a different course now. We're still far from our convention, and there is time for this party to figure out a different way forward if he will allow us to do that. But that was not what we needed from Joe Biden, and it's personally painful for a lot of people. It's not just panic, it's pain for what we saw tonight.
Doesn't it sound so soothing, Van? Just let it sink in, Van. It's pain. I didn't feel pain in my politics when my guy lost. I felt it afterwards in inflation. I felt it afterwards when you were carting people off to jail. I felt it afterwards when the IRS came after me. I felt it afterwards. I feel pain. You feel pain because you don't get a press pass to go into the White House anymore? What kind of an arrogant, narcissistic boob are you? You know, these people are all narcissists. They're all crying into their own weak tea. They just boiled up, they're boiled up gallons, barrels of weak tea. And they're pouring, oh, we're so sad. This happened to us. You know, you have the image of the COVID Karen crazy woman in the green sweater with the horn-rimmed glasses screaming at the top of her lungs at some intersection in Tampa, Florida, or wherever it was, stopping traffic in the middle of Corona. Do you remember that? And then all the Karens join in suit. You cannot possibly have been surprised by this van. You know, again, I'm going to repeat this. If I'm to believe these apologies and these confessions and all of these, let's get in touch with our feeling moments here, from all these Demoncrats crying and whining into their weak tea, then I'm to believe then, dude, you should resign. All of you should quit. You need to find another vocation because you suck at journalism. Here's a little old Crusade radio network station, and there are hundreds of other people out there in the alternative media like us. If we could see it, I don't have any special X-ray vision that I know of. I might have some intuition. Well, I don't have any special gift to be able to see through and see people's souls. I'm sure most of you don't either. Well, how come we can see it? By the way, we are awaiting Supreme Court decisions to be released. You know, they have the decision. They're just, they're waiting to flee the building. So that, all right, okay, wait a minute. Is Justice Alito? Yeah, Alito and Thomas are gone. Okay, you can release them now. And the big one is going to be the Trump immunity decision. As soon as it comes down, whatever it is that we're doing here on the Crusade Radio Network, we will break in and bring it to you. Do we have any... Okay, you know what? Play number 11. Let's just enjoy the moment, shall we? Here is a montage. Yeah, good. Yes. This is a montage of what you have heard here today of all of the, even when we lose, even when Democrats lose, they don't really lose. This is, you must feel sorry for all of us.
I, too, was on the phone throughout much of the debate with Obama world people, with Democrats, with people who are political operatives, with campaign operatives. My phone really never stopped buzzing throughout. And the universal reaction was somewhere approaching panic. The people who were texting with me were
how do you like that jail sentence now, Rachel?
About President Biden seeming extremely feeble, seeming extremely weak.
And there is a conversation happening inside Biden's circle, and certainly a much more frank conversation happening inside the Democratic coalition.
Poor baby.
I think there will be stories of a lot of concern about the performance tonight. And I think when
you say conversations happening, what do you mean?
I think people are talking. I think the conversations range from whether he should be in this race tomorrow morning to what was wrong with him.
Oh, he's still there.
He didn't do well at all. He did not do well at all, and he looked. I'll give you the analysis. You kind of have the old man versus the con man. I can walk you through.
You got beat by a con man, dude.
But I just want to speak from my heart. I love that guy. That's a good man. He loves his country. He's doing the best that he can. He had a test to meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base, and he failed to do that. And I think there's a lot of people
Soak
who
it
are
in,
going to
folks.
want to see him
Soak it in. Love it.
consider taking a different course now.
All right. Stop the tape. Enough of that. Here's what I want to close the program with. I want to leave you with T-Ball Jill. T-Ball Jill, Jezebel Jill. Her new name is now T-Ball Jill. This is what you tell the 5-year-old that just lost the T-ball game 5-4, who was left at home plate with bat in hand and the ball on the tee, but the other kid got thrown out at first or fell on the base path and some kid went and tagged him out, okay? This is T-ball. This is T-ball mom here. This happened on international television. This is after the fact. This is all you need to know for the rest of the day. Soak it in. Love it. Love it. Every second of it. Love it.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered it. He just got a participation trophy from his wife, for heaven's sake. Here's a little trophy, Joe. And guess what? No, we're not going to Disneyland. We're going to Waffle House. Woohoo! Next row, they have ice cream? Yeah, Joe, they have ice cream. Here's your participation trophy. That is utter embarrassment there. Not that he answered the questions well. Not that he beat and vanquished evil Orange Man bad. Joe, you didn't crap your pants. You did it. You stood up for 90 minutes. You did it. Not that you won any arguments, not that you won the debate, not that you won anyone over, not you showed him. You answered every question. Yay! Hey, everybody clap for Dad. Clap for Grandpa. But seriously, let me give you something to leave you with seriously. Serially. This is supposed to be the President of the United States. This is not supposed to happen. Now, if you're a leader of the not free world out there, ladies and gentlemen, if you're the leader of the free world and you're the leader of you're the second in command of the free world, or fifth or 10th in command, wherever France and Germany and NATO countries are, you're looking at this going like, we signed up for this cabal. Klaus Schwab told us, Klaus Schwab got all of the stakeholders together. Uns wir Menschen für coins if you make the world you will honor nothing, you will be happy. How happy you feeling tonight, Klaus? How happy? Your guy. This is your guy. This is your guy. You guys picked this guy. You trained this guy for 7 days like he was Muhammad Ali. You put him in solitary confinement and you trained him. You pumped him full of God knows what. You played him tapes. You asked him questions. You gave him all the answers to what Orange Man Bad might say. And at the end of the day, this is the best that you could. No wonder the border's broken. You guys couldn't change a freaking light bulb. How many Democrats did take a light bulb? I don't know. They never changed one. And so as this thing runs out here, folks, and as, I was, are they, here, the only question that remains from now until November is Trump in jail when he wins, or is he not in jail? That's the, although I would double my Secret Service patrol if I was President Trump. Okay, folks, Golden Truth ticket, seriously. Today's Friday, payday for a lot of you. 200 of you need to go buy a single ticket. Many of you already have, but let's set the number at 200. 100 of you need to buy 2 tickets. So if you got one already, go buy a second one. That's you. 120 of you need to go buy 3 tickets. 3 tickets. Go do it. CrusadeChannel.com/golden. We'll be right back with Free Farm Friday and Jason Craig and the Liturgy of the Land. Thanks for watching. God bless you and Mary keep you.